bushes to go in there. Now, as far as I can tell, there's a couple of ways you can do this. Could either press the bushes in, then assemble it, use I've got a piece of aluminium here to simulate where the centres between the damper rod should be, which is 11.5 inches on this particular model. So I'll fit that in there, bolt through, assemble this, bolt through there, set it all up and get at my mill and mill the new slots in to match up with these ones. However, my mill has not got a lot of, that's not right up the top there now, it's not got a lot of height on it, and it would be a really difficult setup to get it sturdy, get it nice so it isn't going to move basically. So I think what I'm going to do is slot these first in the mill, put the little, as in this is the old one, you can see it's got a little slot in there for these pins to go in. So what I'll do is slot it first where the pins need to go, because that'll be easy just to set the bush up in the mill, and then the tricky bit, and hopefully nothing will move, line the pins up, or the slots up where they need to be on here. And before I took the old ones out, I did put a little punch mark each side, which would line up directly across where the slots need to be. So that would have been like that, lined up with that little pop mark there across the slots. Yeah, the only drawback with that is if when you start to press that in, that should move a little bit. That could cause a problem. If that did happen and it was too far out, I'd just have to make some more slots in another place. I think that would be the only way around it. Yeah, so whether this is going to work and whether my press will actually be man enough to press these in is the other issue. I've only got a 6-ton press. In the book it does mention 10-ton press, and well, if I can't, I have been thinking about getting a new press anyway, so I might just buy a new press. Right, so first thing is going to be setting this up in the mill to get these slots in, as on this one. What else was I going to, oh yes, and I thought these were 1/4 inch, but actually they're not. They are 1/5 of an inch, 0.2. Now, I haven't got a mill of that size, but I've got a 5mm end mill, so, and that's probably near enough. Might be a little bit tight, but these are probably a little bit worn anyway, so there's no reason why they shouldn't go in. And if they don't, I'll just have to re-drill these and get some different size pins. Yeah, so is that it? Is that what I was going to say? Yeah, and I probably will put some copper grease, just a smear inside there when I go to press these in. Hopefully that will kind of alleviate any galling that might occur. So yes, we shall have to see. This is out of the actual Greeves manual, and it just shows on here the distance between these 2 points, which is what I've based this on if I needed it. Yeah, and also I'll check once I've got the thing assembled, I'll check it in there with that, see how far out it is. But right, so first thing, mill. Right, there's the setup. This is clamped down. Obviously the only drawback is that this is in rubber, so there could be a little bit of a movement there, but if I take it gently, should be okay. It's got the mill in. I've got this centered on the Y axis and locked off. I did just use the I get it in shot, half function on the DRO to do that, and I've also zeroed this, so when the bit, the mill is on the edge of this, I'm zeroed, so I know when I've got the correct depth when that goes down. Yeah, I have got a little video on this on my channel if you want to know how to set one up. Quite a handy little feature if you haven't got one on the mill already. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'll just touch off, and I could just use I'll then zero the X on the DRO, and then I'll know when I'm far enough in. I think that's the plan. And then obviously do the same with this side. Right. You can just hear that, just touching there. So let's just zero that. I think we might just plunge straight in. I think I'll just get this to where I need to be. Right, let's just lock that as well. So we should be halfway in. Looks slightly deeper than the other one. I think these inners aren't as wide as the old ones. That looks like it's going quite a way on the edge, but actually that is the right, yeah, 2.5 mil in. We've got a 5 mil. Right, that just moved, so I'm now going to have to get a bit more clamping power on here. I think it's probably to do with the fact that this is rubber. I think I need to shim under here. Let's just turn that off. Yeah, I think I need to shim under here, because this is obviously rubber mounted. This is not as deep as that. So I'm either going to have to clamp it on there, or shim under here. Right. Luckily we hadn't gone too far. Right, let's give this a go. I just put a couple of parallels under here under the outer bit, not the inner bit as well. So we're kind of firmly clamped now. Obviously this is still rubberized in the middle, but right, we'll see how we get on. Lock that off, yeah, lock that off. Right, let's give this a go now. It does seem to be a long way into me, but right, that's telling me that's 6mm deep. It's where you want to be. I'll just run that down again. Yeah, it's obviously slightly moving a little bit in the rubber, but just turn it off. Yeah, it's slightly moving a little bit in the rubber, but yeah, that looks okay. I think we're deep enough. 6mm, no, it don't look as deep as that one. Let's just measure that. One side is 6, one side is 8. Yeah, I think I might just take that down a little bit more. Right, down to 8mm now. Right, so I'll just whiz this over to this side, do the same this side. Yeah, and that'll be that one done. And then I think what I'll do, I'll press this one in, see if it all works okay, and then do the other one. I think that'll be the way to go. And the other thing is, you notice I haven't used any cutting fluid on here. Obviously rubber, oil, not a good mix. So yeah, that would have probably cut a bit better with a bit of oil on there, but a bit of cutting fluid, but yeah, probably best not to. Right, okay, I'll get the camera out of the way and do the other side. Yeah, so I just have to unlock that, whiz that over, and do the same there. Okay, right, that's that side done. I'll just deburr these. Yeah, that one has jumped around a little bit more actually. There are a couple of little marks there. I think what we probably should have done is clamp the centre rather than clamp the outside. I was just concerned about getting these in the way, but I probably could get that on the centre each side. So I think with the next one, that's what I'll do. I'll clamp it directly on the centre. Yeah, hopefully that will be okay. there's a couple of little marks down the side there. Yeah, not too bad, but I think it's actually when this little centrepiece chomps out, because obviously this is an end mill. Yeah, probably could have gone out and back in, but yeah, that'll dress up alright, I think. Right, let's try pressing it in now. And the other thing I ought to check is that this does actually go in, which it does. However, doesn't want to press down very far. What it is, these aren't actually drilled parallel. They're actually sloping in like a wedge. So I assume as you tighten that up with a bolt, that will pull in. There's the old one. What do we do with the old one? Although this one has had a slit cut down, so it's obviously sprung in a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty tight as well, actually. So yeah, right. Yeah, we'll just have to go with that, I think. Right, to the press. Lining this up, that is the other thing. So what I've done, I've got a straight line. That's my little pop mark there. I've just drawn a straight line across there. So that's my datum this side. And on here I've got a line on the side which coincides with those bending line. So what I need to do in theory is get that in the press, line those two up, press it in, and we should be in the right place. That's the theory. Whether it'll work or not, anyone can guess. But yeah, as long as that doesn't move when we're pressing it in, we should be okay. Yeah, we shall see. Right, let's give it a go. Can't put it off any longer. Okay, so yeah, got me slots to the up, facing up. I have got a piece of tube which will fit that. However, the chances that is going to slip is quite likely, because it is only quite thin wool stuff. So I think I'm going to just use a flat plate on top of there to push that through. Obviously when it gets almost through, the middle part is longer than the outer part, or deeper rather, wider. So then I will probably have to prop underneath with this, which is the same size as the outer, and that is a decent thickness, that piece of tube. So yeah. Yeah, whether this is going to work, I don't know. So line those up. And the other thing that's kind of strange is the stresses on this, when this is put together, must change the shape of this outer piece here slightly. Must oval it a little bit, because sitting that squarely on there, we have a little bit of a gap here and no gap here. Well, it's actually too far over. So yeah, hopefully there is a bit of a chamfer on the edge of this, so hopefully that will push in. We will soon find out. the other thing is whether this 6-ton press will cope. That is the other question. I'm going to run out of yeah, I am. I'm just going to have to, so raise this up. Yeah, that might be the better idea. I'll just raise this whole thing up if I can. Yeah, that might work better. Right, that's better. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take the slack up to get this to sit correctly. Because at the moment it's sort of cocked to one side. Get that as central as I can. Go there. I'm gonna have to just hold it with my fingers for a minute, I think. And get some pressure on it, and it starts going in squarely because it's gonna keeps wanting to go off the side. More in that way. Let's try it there. Still in line, not quite. Bit of a juggling act. Yeah, still wants to go that way. Forward a little bit. Back a little bit rather, because if it starts cocked it won't go at all. Yeah, I still want to go that way. A bit more pressure this side. Once it gets started it'll be okay, I think. It's just getting it started square. Now, still want to go. Probably going to want to go the other way now. This is taking a little bit of persuading. It's because that outer piece is ovaled a little bit. It just doesn't want to go. Even though I'm putting all the pressure this side, I just want to take the easy route at the back. bit of direct pressure. Now, let's start again, I think. Right, let's have another go. Now I want to kink this way. Probably do with a bit more chamfer. I might even have to chamfer this piece. Just to get it to go. Now I'm going to have to chamfer the inside of that, I think. After a lot of mucking about, I think I've got that started all the way round. So let's give it some Evo. Seems to be staying in line. Right, now we've run out of travel on the back. So I'm going to have to try and, what do I want to do, wedge up on this one then, if I can. Which means I'm going to have that in there. Probably ought to cut that down a bit, that piece of tube, because that does only just sit on these cross beams. Right, let's see. Just gently take the pressure up because I don't want this to slip. Right. I think we're there. Possibly go a bit more, I don't know. Let's see what the other side looks like. So you're going to have to touch me paint work up. Oh, that's through, yeah. So, yes, you can do it with a 6-ton press. Certainly going easier than they come out. Once you get it lined up, that's the tricky piece, getting that tricky bit, getting that square. Right, now the other thing is, hasn't moved at all. We'll find out. So I've got me fake damper in there, my set length piece. I've got my little cap in there with the pins, so it's all holding that. Well, it's sort of holding it. It's not tightened down or anything, and because obviously I haven't got the one in this side either. But that is pretty much there. That's probably 1/8 of an inch. If I press that way, it's probably 1/8 of an inch out, which yeah, I think we can live with that. What I've got to do now is the next side. Yeah, that went much better actually. Clamped it on the inside rather than the outside. Although it was quite tricky, and that only just, well, these clamps I've got are only just long enough to get on there, and obviously you need to offset them so you can get across with a. Well, I just put a little pin in there to get my centre go, and use the half on the function on the DRO. Yeah, so that's that one done. Not saying that was much easier, went much smoother. So just got to press this one in. Well, you probably know this trick, but for those that don't, if you want to get a line across something like that, round thing, just use a bit of angle and you'll get a perfectly straight line, or square to the edge of that anyway. There's that one in. The other thing I forgot to mention is just there was also another pin, much smaller pin, same the other side, in there. So I don't know if that's normal set up for these, or well, that's what someone has put in, because that, you know, it's pretty tight in there. I can't see that would start to move instead of the rubber, because they are pretty tight. Right, so now that one's in, I will get it in here. I'll check this for alignment as well. Yeah, see, that one is a little bit further out. That other one was an 1/8. This is more like a 1/4. But then it was weird that this, before I took the old ones out, when I marked this off, it was in a different position to on the other side. So I wonder whether they were actually wrong to start with, or this side was wrong to start with. I can probably get over that. What I would do, let's take this bolt out. What I could possibly do is just recut these. That would be around there, that would be about there. Yeah, what I could do is just weld these up and re-slot those further round. I think that would, or is it just that one that's out actually? It might just be that one that's out. That one appears to be in line. I've still got that one in the back there, yeah. I wonder if that was off centre. Yeah, I'll have to play around with that. I'll get a bolt in here and have a little. Yeah, that is weird. I'm going to have to have a little measure up. I think that is off centre. That has been put in the wrong place. I think that should be more there. Which, yeah, that would be okay. I can weld that bit up and drill a new or mill a new piece in there. I think that will sort that out. Because that one lines up. Yes. Right, okay, a little bit more investigation. Right, there we are. We have 7.5 inches. 7.5 inches. And there's a suspension. Well, go the wrong way actually, should be that way, shouldn't it? Roughly how it works. So, what I need to do now, strip this down again. I'll have a little bit of touching up to do on here, on this piece. And all this will need to be prepared for paint and painted. Then I can reassemble everything, put the new dampers in, and that'll be, oh, apart from bearings, I've got bearings to go in, headrace bearings. That'll be practically the forks done. So I think that's probably enough for this video. I mean, pressing headrace bearings on, it's not much really to show on that. Painting, well, that's just a bit boring, isn't it? Don't usually do painting videos. Yeah, so I think that will do.